So this session, we are just talking about how to write a bibliography for your maths assignment. And the short answer to that question is to send you to this website, which is ltclibrary.com, and to go to the referencing tab where you've got two options. So I'll take you to this one first, referencing at Lake Tuggeranong College. And basically that gives you a summary and some referencing guides. So for this class and almost all other classes at this school, we use APA style referencing. This handout is, I've handed you today, and also I've linked it on your Google Classroom directly, which is just a summary of APA referencing. So how they work in general, a little bit about in-text references, and then a reference list and bibliography. The main thing you need to know for that is that all of the sources are arranged in alphabetical order according to the author's last name. So ABC order, author's last name, and that you use this thing called a hanging indent, which means for anything that's more than one line. So you can see here that the author's last name is all the way on the left-hand side, and everything else is just in one tab for those other lines. And the reason for that is it just makes it easier for your teacher to skim down the list and find what reference is what. Okay? On the back of that page, it gives you the most commonly used types of sources. So a website is either going to have a corporate author, so that's an organization, or it'll have an actual human person author, which would be surname, comma, first initial, full stop. The corporate author is just whatever the name is of that organization, and then a full stop. You've got your year only, for when that thing was published, in brackets, and then another full stop. And you've got the title of the web page in italics, another full stop, and then retrieved from, and you stick in the URL. So it's actually really quite easy just to remember that. It's just the author, the year, the name of the website, retrieved from, and then you stick the URL in, and you're done. Okay? You can see for a video, or a journal, or a book, or an image, they're all just slightly different. I don't think you'll probably have many journal articles for this assignment, but if you do have any images that you want to reference, it's basically, again, the same. So you've got your author, comma, initial, and then full stop, the year, the title of the image, and this part is a little bit different, where you've got square brackets with the word image with a capital I, but then the rest are the same, retrieved from and stick in the URL. Okay? So their referencing is not hard, it's just sort of fussy. So you just have to make sure that the full stops and the italics and all of that is in the right spot. That brings me to the other tab, which is also, so this is back to ltclibrary.com, and then referencing, and this bit, create references. Hand up if you've used this referencing generator, anybody? No? Okay. Some people use Cite This For Me. In fact, Lori and I used to recommend that people use Cite This For Me a few years ago, but we do not recommend that you use that anymore for two reasons. One is it often makes mistakes, especially with websites. And the second reason is there's so many pop-ups, it just becomes an exercise in frustration. So we decided as a library to pay money to subscribe to this online reference generator, which is done by the School Library Association of South Australia. Now, this now has a password, but the password for it is just library, all lowercase. In fact, we try to make that the password for all of our things. So if you ever come across something through this website of ours that requires a password, it's probably library. And if that doesn't work, come in and just pop in and ask one of us. But basically, you just click on that. You have to go up here for sign in, type in library, all lowercase, and you're in as Lake Tuggeranong college, we'll go to senior bibliography, and then here's all your 1,000,001 different things that you might possibly reference, because they're all just slightly different. Artwork and images, audiovisual, books, ebooks, government things, different performances, periodicals. Now websites are all down here, which I'm assuming for this assignment is going to be the most commonly used thing that you would have to reference yourself, because if you're using a database, don't forget that they will do the reference for you, and that'll be sure to be correct. But basically your choices are probably the website where you do have an author, the website with 2 or 3 authors, a website without an author, and a website with an organization, which a minute ago I just called a corporate author. And so basically you just click on whatever that might be, whichever one applies. It shows you what it should look like for in-text. It shows you for your reference list, which is, often teachers inform you today I'm using that interchangeably with the word bibliography. Technically they're different things, but we won't worry about that. And if you forget what it is, like what is that 2016 supposed to stand for, if you just hover over it, it'll tell you what it is. And indeed this one points out that if there's no date, because every once in a while you're on a website and you can't find a date, it's not listed, you put n.d. in those brackets. So if you forget what the thing is that you need to be putting in here, just hover and it will show up. Plug in all your little data here, and then create citation. It'll spit it up in a little pop-up and you just copy it and stick it into your reference list and you know that it's correct. You know that it's correct if you've typed it in correctly. So don't forget that it's that idea of garbage in, garbage out. So if you type it in incorrectly, you're going to get the wrong thing coming out. But assuming that you've typed that in fine, then you create it, paste it in, stick it in ABC order, put in your little hanging indent, and you're ready to go. Do you want to just press stop?